bata na eligible. Pag sinabi natin eligible, ay yung pwede po makapag-avail ng services. Okay po? So another one is why early intervention is important in special education. Bakit napakahalaga po ng early intervention? Early intervention services are special services for infants and toddlers at risk for developmental delays. So, napakahalaga po ng early intervention services, lalo na po sa mga bata, sa infants and sa toddlers, sa kakapanganak pa lang because they have their developmental delays. So, yung nalilate ng kanilang paglaki, nalilate ng kanilang ah, pag, pag-develop. These services are designed to identify and meet children's needs in five developmental areas. These are the physical. So, can you please give me one developmental aspect in physical po? In physical development, can you please comment it po para ah, alam ko kung nakikinig kayo. So, babasahin ko na lang later on kapag ano na, then sa cognitive development naman, ano yung the cognitive development is the mental aspect of the child. Have ano din in communication in it is very important that they are able to speak, that they are able to express, that they are able to understand. So meaning po sa communication is tayo mismo ay nagtuturo sa mga bata ng pagsasalita. Ano yung kalimitan? Ano yung kalimitan ginagawa natin? Hindi po tayo na iniiwasan natin yung pag-talk baby, yung baby talk, ano? Na yun kasi, once kasi na nilakihan nila yung baby talk, mahihirapan silang magsalita. Sa Bicol, bilot, ano? Yung nahihirapan silang magsalita because of saying baby talk. Then, another one is social aspect. So they're able to interact with others. They're able to interact with other children and their family members. So it's very important po to develop the social skills among this kind of learners. Then yung emotional development. Ano yung sa emotional development? That they are able to, di ba, number one sa emotional is hug. Hug can be considered an emotional aspect. So dapat yung mga bata ay may matuto silang na mahag kasi number one is they have the feeling na um, they are secure, they are safe and secure because of the hug coming from the members of the family. So another one is sensory and adaptive development. So meron po yan na effect sa mga bata na they are able to interact with others po. They are able to adapt their environment. So yun po. So next is what are the Philippine models of inclusion? So the child with the special needs in vision, number one is self-instruction. Na sila mismo, they are learning through what? They are learning through their self. Na yung simpleng pag-tap ng mga bagay sa kanilang paligid is learning. They are learning through self-instruction. They are learning through themselves that they are doing something. Then another one is self-monitoring. The members of the family, the the other po na especially their family, their members of the family, that they are having monitoring and evaluation. So they will be assessed if kaya ng bata or hindi. Then another one is self-reinforcement. This is they really need, my dear friends, that they must be motivated, that they must be reinforced of ano po, of they must be motivated na despite their situation, despite of their present situation, still they must be what? They must be motivated. So we must ano din, their we must uplift their self-esteem, their self-confidence, 'di ba? So yan po ang pinaka-importante. Another one is self-determination. We must develop among our learners self-determination. Despite ng kanilang sitwasyon, dapat na ano sila, na, nabibigyan sila ng determination to grow, determination to fight for what they are experiencing. So yan ang pinaka-importante, ano? So another one is what is the process of inclusion? Ano ba yung ginagawa natin? So inclusion is a process. Let me emphasize that inclusion is a process. Inclusion is concerned with the identification and removal of barriers. So sa inclusion ay para po malaman natin at natanggal natin yung mga problema. So it's very important to identify these challenges, these barriers among our learners. So consequently, it involves collecting, collating, and evaluating information from a wide variety of sources in order to plan for improvements in policy and practice. So we are gathering. Importante po na nag-gather tayo ng um, information, ng data for our school children, 'di ba? So, pinaka-importante is we collect information na that can help in their development. Bakit naging ganito to? Bakit naging ganito siya? Bakit ganito? 'Di ba? So, yan po ang ating uh, aside from it is another one is collating and evaluating information. We must develop among our learners the sources para alam natin. We must be informed of the plan to improve, diba? So yan na. Another one is the most important we are going to use this information. We are going to use this information na kaya pala ang batang ito ay ganito because meron siyang background. Meron siyang um, meron siyang ano din, pinagdadaanan kung bakit ganito siya. Okay. So, ano ba yung best thing to do this aside from ano knowing the basic information, aside from knowing the basic info? So, we need to do something. Gagamitin natin. So, we are going to use this kasi I've learned na yung family ay wala sa kanila. So, ganun yun. Next is, what are the transition program for students with disabilities? So, as defined in the idea, the transition services are a coordinated set of activities for students with disabilities that is designed to be a results-oriented process that focuses on improving the academic and functional achievement of the student with disability to facilitate the student's movement from school to post-school. So dito is kung mapapansin natin, my dear students, there is a transition po of doing ano po na students, our students it's with disabilities, then we must be results oriented in improving their academic and functional achievement. So kahit po ganun sila, they deserve to receive a quality education. Kaya nga po, kahit po ganun, ang government is doing something na makapag-aral din sila, then ma-train ang mga teachers, kasi mula muna sila sa paaralan Then after that is, may magagawa rin ba sila? Diba? So, katulad ng inyong mga kakilala, marami na rin tayong na naging kakilala. I have a client before in a review program when I was invited to become a speaker in one review center. Totally bulag, fully blind, learners with difficulty in vision. So ano yung ginawa natin is still um, he do something na ano din, mapatunayan niya that she want to prove that she can do better than the regular or the normal people. Diba? So, ganun naman yun. Yun ang importansya. Then, what is a transition program? The transition program is designed to teach independent living skills, including the vocational skills. So sa Rocky, hindi na nga sila nakakakita, hindi na nga sila nakakalakad, hindi na nga sila nakakaganito. Bakit may vocational skills pa rin? So don't you know that ang mga ganitong mga tao ay magagaling dumiskarte. Diba? Marami tayong mga kakilala na painter. We have so many. Nick Bojicek is an example. Wala siyang kamay, wala siyang totally na paa, pero she is a very good speaker. He is a very good motivational speaker in their church. So that is an example. To students receiving special education services ages 18 to 22, as they make progress, students fine-tune their work abilities, determine job preferences. So we have also many companies now na tumatanggap sila ng mga tao na may kapansanan. Diba? Salute to them. Mga food crew, mga food chains, they are hiring service crews ng mga ganito. Okay? And learn to work with growing independence. The most important is they are able to support their living, to support their needs. So kailangan pa rin to continue their living. So what do you mean by transition and inclusive education? For the special needs child, however, transition is a very specific meaning. It is part of the overall Individualized Education Program or IEP, and it defines the move from public school to adult life. So that is the most important also. Yung matuto sila at soon magamit nila ito sa kanilang buhay. The IEP, the Inclusive Education Program, it is also called required by law for students with learning disability. So, if we want to learn, ganun din po sila. They wanted to learn. They wanted to ano din. Kasi, nararamdaman nila na may kakulangan sila sa kanilang buhay. Kaya they must do something also na ma-uplift nila kung ano yung nangyayari sa kanila. That is the most important. Okay? What is the main purpose of the transition program? The transition program aims to help special learners become functional in spite of their disabilities. Let me emphasize this. Functional. Ang maging kapaki-pakinabang kahit sila ay mayroong kapansanan. It aims to make them enjoy their daily lives and empower them to become more useful and productive citizens. This is also what we really need. This is also what we really wanted to become. Even in the regular class, sa mga regular na klase, gusto natin silang maging kapaki-pakinabang at maging sila din ng something to be proud of, diba? Something to be proud of. Then they have this. So how does DepEd sustain its special inclusive education program? Paano sinuportahan ng DepEd ang ganitong program? The SPED program of DepEd provides a holistic approach in catering to the needs of learners with various exceptionalities. So salute also to DepEd starting from the 2012, starting from the K-12 program was implemented. they want to cater also needs and the needs of the learners. This program ensures learners with exceptionalities will have access to quality education by giving them their individual and unique learning needs. That is the most important is to provide quality education to these learners. Diba? So, even po mga ganito ang kanilang sitwasyon, still kailangan nilang mabigyan ng quality education. So, bigyan ko ng emphasis ang word na quality education. So, to provide them quality education, then what are the special needs of the special education and programs? So, ano ba yung mga pangangailangan nila? Special education serves children with emotional, behavioral, or cognitive impairments or with intellectual, the hearing, vision, speech, or learning disabilities, gifted children with advanced academic abilities, and children with orthopedic or neurological impairments. So this is based on the ano din, mga pangangailangan. So ang special education is emotional. Why? Because they are bullied, they are discriminated. So what we need is to uplift them. Buhayin natin ang kanilang paniniwala, especially with themselves, behavioral also, and cognitive. So we really need to help them also. So what is National Inclusive Program for Education Policy ng Indigenous People, adapting the National Indigenous Peoples Education Policy Framework. This policy framework is intended to be an instrument for promoting shared accountability. So meron po tayong what? We are accountable for this kind of learners. We are accountable for this kind of people. Continuous dialogue, dapat meron pag-uusap. Meron tayong mga tinatawag na convergent forum wherein ang pinag-uusapan dito, bino-brought out dito ng mga school administrator ang pagtulong natin sa kanila sa mga ganitong uri ng mga learners. Engagement also. What most important is there must be partnership. Partnership with whom? Partnership of the teacher to the parents, partnership of the teacher to the community, and the civil society and other education stakeholders. So we really need these people. We really need them. That is the best thing po. So what is indigenous people education? The indigenous people education is the basic education that is responsive to their context, respect their identities. So kailangan natin tong irespeto whatever their color, whatever their image, whatever their culture, diba? Kasi yung mga indigenous people is from the word itself. Ito yung mga kapatid nating nasa tribe, yung mga kapatid natin nasa tribo, na kapatid natin na belong to Itas, yan. So that they must be respected. They must be given respect and high value also. And we must promote the value of their indigenous knowledge. We still they are human. Still they are still they are part of the human being. Apo, dapat they are also the same with the regular people that they have their skills and other aspects of their cultural heritage. So, one time, na-imbitahan ako sa isang children's congress from Iriga City sila. They are indigenous group. Mga magagaling sumayaw, magagaling magkumanta. So, meaning, it's walang pinagkaiba. Ang pinagkaiba lang naman natin doon ay yung kanilang kultura. May mga kakaibang kultura sila. They have their own culture. They have different also. Same with us, that we have different cultures po. So, according to the DepEd Order number 32 series of 2015, adapting the Indigenous People Education Curriculum Framework na pursuant to DepEd Order number fundamental to IPED is establishing institutionalized partnership between indigenous communities and respective schools learning programs which serve them. So take note of this. Take note of this DepEd order number 32. We must adopt the Indigenous People Education Curriculum Framework na ang sinasabi dito is ma-institutionalize ang indigenous community and ang mga schools. So that's why po, they have also their own education, their IPED. Okay, IPED, Indigenous People Education. So kung meron po tayong SPED for the special population, we have also the IPED for indigenous group. Okay. So yan po, yan muna for this time ang ating discussion on the policies. Ano po? So we will discussion po next time. Yan. So it's yan. So it's already ano din. So another thing is malapit na tayong mag-midterm exam. Kindly review starting this time. Malapit na rin. So it is through online. Magiging online na po ang inyong exam at hindi po katulad ng dati. Nagkaroon lang po kasing problema regarding sa sa estilo in the style of the examination. So maybe next meeting next week will be the webinar on the kinds of learners with their special needs, learners with special needs, and the strategies to be adopted. So I will inform you. So please be around on that day, on that meeting po, because we will invite the speakers through YT channel. Okay? So abang po kayo in our 3C. So still next week, pag may pinagawa po ako this week, dalawa po. Ganito na lang ang gagawin natin. Every week na lang is twice meeting. Then kasi yung alternate. Para you have time to answer your activity and you have then to answer other modules in your other subjects. Okay? So again, always be updated and then okay, so thank you very much everyone.